Welcome back. This is Haywire again with installment number 2 of our video series of troubleshooting failed wiring. And in this segment we're going to look at some reasons why the wiring might fail. And most often it's a case of a receptacle that's been damaged, miswired, or overheated. I don't have a picture of an overheated one, but we'll look at some damaged ones. Here's one that was damaged on installation. You see there's a piece of the plastic body that's been chipped off and broken away. And a lot of times when that happens, the wires, if they're back wired, can't hold into the metal parts that are supposed to retain them, so the wires fall out. A lot of times if they've been hit hard from the front, you'll see a part of the face has been broken away, and that's also a dead giveaway that you've got a receptacle that you're going to need to change right away. You don't want to leave them in this condition if you find them like this, because it's often an indication that they're compromised inside. What you'll find on the inside also, once you take them apart, there's 3 types of household grade devices out there. There are some that you can only wire by pushing wires in the back of them, like this one here. It does not have screw terminals on the side. It only has back wire holes. There are some that came out that have just terminals only, like this one here. No back wire holes, and it forced you to have to put the wires on the screw terminals. And then a lot of them, especially most recent ones, are a combination device like this one that has both back wire holes and side terminals. These are the most common. The problem with using using back wire is the back wire holes are not always very reliable. In the case of this one, where when you push the wire in the hole, it's supposed to be retained by a metal prong inside. They don't always work very good, and a lot of times the wires pull right out of them. And sometimes when people are assembling these things, as they're putting them into the outlet box, which is this thing here. This is an outlet box that receptacles are housed in. This device here is actually called a receptacle. A lot of people refer to them as outlets, but their correct term is a receptacle. The wires will pull out of these holes when they're put into the outlet boxes, and the installer may not be aware of it, in which case they may be just making a little tiny bit of contact because they pulled most of the way out, and they'll work for a little while, but under a heavy load the end of that wire will burn off and the circuit will go down. As we saw in the first video, a lot of times receptacles are wired in a daisy chain, and if one of the links of the chain breaks, everything down line of it is going to stop working. We'll also take a look at what's inside of one of these things. This particular brand is held together with screws, so we're going to disassemble it and look inside and see what's in there. So if you take the pieces apart, you'll find inside the metal contacts that actually allow this thing to operate. So what you're looking at now is where the wires actually go when you push them in the holes. These little tiny prongs right here that I'm indicating with the end of the wire are where the wires actually go, and it's just a little tiny barb that when you push the wire into the barb contacts the wire. It's kind of hard to see in this case, but there's only a tiny bit of contact there. Just the edge of that little metal piece is all there is for contact. So I highly recommend, when you have a receptacle, is to actually use these screw terminals on the side. They're far more reliable, especially if you torque them correctly. And you won't have any problem that you commonly have with backwire devices failing. If you use the terminals on the side, take the extra few moments to bend the loop in the wire and torque the terminal down. So that's why they'll fail. So with that, we'll conclude this video, and in the next video we'll actually remove and replace the wires onto a receptacle so you can see how it's done correctly. Thank you.